came up this way last year, and this trail comes up above the camp, and I came out here last year, and I want to say at this point I'm about 2.5 miles up this trail from camp. I've been hiking for a bit, so you'll have to forgive me if I'm out of breath. And I remember coming up here and just thinking that it was so magical, you know, like something out of a storybook, with the leaves changing colors and this brilliant gold and red. And you know, I think that my first hunting trip, I was like really focused on getting caribou. But even this gave me pause, and I had to stop and admire how beautiful it is. And I thought about this place and like described it to my family, and I really wanted to show it to you guys. It's hard to get to, as far as it's a lot of uphill climbing. The other 3 people in my group, they decided to rest when we got about a mile in. I think that they're gonna keep coming up at a certain point, but until then, it's just me and these beautiful trees. And I would like to think there was a caribou out here for me too, but honestly, there's been a major lesson that I've learned. When I came over here last year, they were reported to be in zone 2 and zone 3, which I'm currently standing in zone 3. But this year, they posted about a week ago, they were still in zone 2. And I was like, well, I can't go to zones 1 and 4 because it's currently closed. They closed it for caribou so that the moose hunters could go up and hunt for moose, which I'm not mad. Like, that's fine, you know. But zone 2, which is where they're currently at right now, is not, you can't drive to it. It's off the road system. It's one where you have to fly your boat in, and we're about, standing right here, I'm about 45 miles from zone 2. I don't know, I probably shouldn't have come out here thinking I was going to get caribou for me and my whole group if the caribou aren't even reported to be in the zone yet. I'm early. I'm too early. Which is funny because last year they were all over the place. And there were lots and lots and lots of signs that other people had already got caribou and left by the time we got here. So it's kind of a tough lesson to learn. It's one of those things where I was like, look, you know, over the holiday weekend, there's just tons of them up there. We'll go up, we'll get our caribou, we'll take a couple extra days so we can relax and make sure we have time, pack out and come home. But this year, at the same time of year in the same place, not a caribou to be found. And the number of hunters that I've seen actually, like, literally just pack up and leave in droves. They're like, yeah, no, they're not here yet. We just either give up this year or come back next year or try coming back in a couple weeks when they are reported to be in this zone. Honestly, it's kind of frustrating, and you know, I try and keep all this like lighthearted, I guess, you know. Try and look on the bright side, not just for the camera, but just in life in general. It's going to be tough on this trip, though, to do that. It's been real tough because it rained for a couple days, so we had that to deal with. It was cold, it was damp. Yesterday, it actually started to dry up. The sun came out, and I got a bunch of bad news. My daughter is sick, and my mom is in the hospital. And I kind of feel like, man, what am I doing out here? What have I done coming all this way? You know? And I feel kind of responsible for not just, you know, my lack of getting caribou, but I invited a whole bunch of people. I got 3 other people out here with me. So I feel particularly responsible for them too. And they didn't get anything, and like, I'm like, well, I feel accountable for that. Like, what was I doing? I got a really bad night's sleep last night too. It stopped raining, and just because we haven't had to bother with it, and I guess like kind of force a habit as far as that goes, I didn't open up any of the flies or anything on the tent, and the condensation from, you know, everybody breathing all night long. Maybe it was just the temperatures, I'm not sure, but there was so much condensation all over everything. It was like it was raining in the tent anyway. And the one night that it didn't rain outside was the one night we got wet inside the tent. And I was like, man, I was cold for a lot of the night. And I think that was because there was a lot of moisture buildup on the bottom of my cot for some reason. I don't know why, but it like soaked through to part of my sleeping bag, and it made me cold all night long. I thought it was because I didn't put enough clothes on, but it was literally the same outfit that I had on when I slept in the Arctic when it was below freezing, like well below single digits. So I was like, what happened? Well, your sleeping bag's wet. It don't matter what you got on. It's just not going to keep you very warm. You guys got to see this. It's just absolutely beautiful out here, though. Okay, so a couple of things, right? Good things that happened. Well, like I said, I didn't even make a video all day yesterday, and this is the first one today. I was just in such a bad mood about not getting anything and hearing bad news from back home. But we did get a grouse today, which was really cool. Like, oh, cool, we finally got something. We got a grouse, and I like the taste of grouse, so we brought it back to camp, cleaned it, cooked it up, made it. Amazing. We had a fire last night because it was actually dry enough to burn something. So, you know, as far as morale goes, we've got to have one fire and one grouse. Well, I don't know. Tough days. Tough days. I'll at least say that, like, you know, I'm literally in running shorts and a tank. What do we got here? So this is kind of gross, but it's some droppings here, and looks like there might be a bone in there. Not sure what that is. It's not bear. I think that's wolf. And you can see like the hairs and things and whatever it ate. It makes me wonder if, and like granted, that's months old. Okay. It's months old. So it's not like whatever was, you know, left that, you know, is around right now this second. Makes me wonder how many wolves are out here and they just are better at seeing and smelling us than we are them. Although I do smell a little bit like a grouse right now, so maybe that'll work in my favor. So I've kind of crested this hill, and this is the second one I've done today. We drove out this morning and went over and we glassed around and everything. Just looking, like hoping we'd see something, even if it was out of range, just to know that, like, all right, they were here at least. We didn't completely mess that part up. And after a while, I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna go climb that one. I'm gonna go look over there. It was pretty, but I didn't see anything over there either. So I think that I kind of got, like, I did too well last year for my own good. Because with dip netting, what happened was I didn't do great the first year. So I went and did a ton of research and I thought about it for a whole year, you know. And I was like, these are the things that I need to make it successful. And I went out there and I did it. You know, I was successful this year. But last year on this hunt, it was like, cool. I didn't know what I was doing. Went out there and shot one, you know. Cool, I'll just go to the same place at the same time and just go. And I think if I hadn't got one last year, it could have changed my experience, you know. And maybe I wouldn't be out here this year, you know. But maybe I would have gone and done a bunch of research about it too. Would have gone and been like, all right, you know, let me figure out where they go and how fast they go and what do you do if they're not in the zone, and, you know, that sort of stuff. Should have thought about all that. So it gives me something to actually research and everything for next year. I think that the best indicator of what happened this year was the river. When I looked at the river at one point, I was like, it's beautiful. The water is crystal clear. It's a gorgeous sight. I was like, I'll get a video of it later. But then it rained for 3 days and all the water rushed into the river from the rain and it muddied up the water. It's all muddy now and it's not as pretty. And my chance to get that video is gone, you know what I mean? Like, I have to wait a whole year or wait for low, you know, wait for the water to get low or something. Well, we still got a few more days. Today's Tuesday. So wish me luck that I at least see something in these next couple of days.